And I think that it's pretty fair to say that the coronavirus, the economic lockdown, all of the uncertainty right now is the most sensitive time that I remember. And in come the forces of evil that want power and want to destroy. And here we are, like watching the Dvar Torah unfold before our eyes. Now look at the tactic, because in their tactic, we will find the solution in the medicine of what we're supposed to do. Look at what Korach says at the very beginning of the Parsha. Here's what it says. They gathered together, Moses against Moses and against Aaron, and said to them, it's too much for you, for the entire assembly, all of them are holy, and Hashem is among them. Why do you exalt yourselves over the congregation of Hashem? Well, this is interesting. When evil strikes, in this timely story for today, it takes two approaches. First, Korach makes an argument about equality. No one can argue against that. I mean, you want to burn down stores, riot, steal, lose all moral boundaries. Say you're doing it in the name of racism, of equality, and you'll be hard to argue against you. Communism knew this very well. Social justice was one of the slogans of the Nazi party. I mean, whenever evil comes in, it's like equality, social justice, equality, racism, and all of a sudden, Chop, Chaz, Antifa, they know this secret too. Tactic number one. And so tactic number two, the best counterfeits look real. The best lies seem true. So that's a really good argument, because who would want to argue against the fact that we all believe that the man was created in the image of God and everyone has equal value before God. And so they're taking our, of course we believe that. And so look at what's real and look at what's false. So I want a little Hebrew lesson for today. Let's get this up on the screen. Here we have now the entire alphabet. This is the entire Hebrew alphabet at the top line. It starts with Aleph and it goes all the way down to Taf. And so there it is. Below we have the Hebrew word emet. And below that we have the Hebrew word sheker. Emet means truth. Sheker means lie. Look at the beauty of the Hebrew language. Emet, the word, is composed of the first letter of the alphabet, Aleph, the very middle of the alphabet, Mem, and the very last letter of the alphabet, Taf. Why? Because Emet is a holistic, full picture of the truth. Sheker, on the other hand, do you see where those letters are? They're one slant. There's like one pie piece taken off the last four letters. They took three of them and they're like, all right, here, we'll just, it's within the alphabet. It is within an emet. It's within the truth, but I'm just going to take this one slant and take it totally out of context. And there we have the truth of the Hebrew language. The best counterfeits look real. The best lies seem true. And all we need is just like one particular slant of reality totally out of context, and we got the best lie ever. Now, that's what's being done right before our very eyes. And the second thing that they do is even more outrageous. They lie in the most obscene way possible. A lie so outrageous that it baffles the other side. What is Moses' response after they come to him and they say, why are you exalting yourself above other people? Look at what Moses says. Moses heard and fell on his face. That's his response. I mean, look at Moses and this legendary response. I mean, imagine the leaders today. Moses doesn't tweet something mean about Korach or say something and call him a silly name like Sleepy Korach or Stupid Korach or I don't know what, Kooky Korach. No, he's like, really? Brokenhearted. He's like, you think that's what I'm about? I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to elevate myself. I just fall on my face. I'm just like total humility. What a response. I mean, reading this in this week in the light of the insanity today, I wonder if there's like a new way to read that. It's like Moses just like fell on his face at the insanity of it all. That's what I feel like doing. Just what else can you do other than just fall on your face? I mean, what do we know about the personality of Moses? He's not described by many attributes. He only has one in the whole Torah. He's not the wisest of all men. He's not the bravest of all men. He's not the holiest of all men. It says one thing, and it's a few chapters earlier. And whenever you read the Tanakh, whenever you read the Bible, it's not just a story. It's not even always in a chronological order. The Torah reads like hyperlinks, like, ooh, there's a phrase here. Take that phrase. What is it referring to? You got to open up that. You have to see the Torah in its full emet, in its full truth, without seeing the whole thing. And so look at what we see just a few chapters earlier. This is Numbers chapter 12. This is the one attribute we have of Moses. Now the man Moses was exceedingly humble, more than any other man on the face of the earth. The one attribute that we have is that he's the most humble of all men on the planet. No one is more humble than Moses. That was his defining characteristic. That was his greatest thing that he could offer to the world. He was so humble, he was able to channel the will of the Creator and help humanity establish moral order, because the Moses, the ego, wasn't there. He was just a vessel to channel divine light. The most humble man. And what does Korach say? Can we bring up the thing one before? What does Korach say? Why do you exalt yourself over the congregation of Hashem? Now, in English, exalt yourself, it's not as powerful as the Hebrew. The Hebrew word for exalt is titnasu, which literally comes from the same root. It's almost the same word as mitnaseh, which means arrogant. So the man is looking at Moses, the humble, that's who he is, humble. Abraham is defined as chesed, as loving kindness, of spreading out, of reaching more and more people. His defining characteristic is humility, and he's calling him mitnaseh. He's calling him arrogant. What do you do with that? Just fall on your face on the insanity of that claim. I mean, today, the radical, secular nihilists, who do they hate the most? They hate believers. They hate the people that love the Bible. Christians are hated and mocked because they love the Bible. Jews are despised and hated because we wrote the Bible. We brought the moral code into being, and they hate us for that. But imagine people who brought the concept, who live by the idea of man being created equal, of equal value before God. All men are created in the image of God. They're calling us racists.